new OGs. The New OGs is a State and Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, you can raise the value of your home, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a Black-owned company and a SunPower dealer, an American panel maker with over 30 years of solar experience. They even have a referral program that pays out as much as $500 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in contact. Yes, sir. Yes, XL. How you doing, buddy?
Hold on for a second, man. Hold on right now. Before we get show 84 on the go, I just want to make sure you're telling these people right.
Let's make sure we got it. You just told
these people that by doing this, they can save money every month on their electric bill.
Every month, yeah.
They can do something to help the little birdies and the bees and all the trees.
All the trees, yes.
And if they get somebody else involved that also owns a home and has a roof that could get solar, and they get solar too, they get $500 every time they do that?
Yeah, whether you own a home, if you refer somebody to Solar Masters and that person goes solar, you get $500. And there's no cap. You can do it as much as you want.
Man, that's just a good deal. That's just a damn good deal. I don't need theatrics for this, Bobby. This is a great damn deal. How are people not jumping all over this?
Well, it's fairly new in Illinois. They also operate in Florida, so you can get in contact with them. Just head over to www.gosolarmasters.com. Website's just recently been redone there. I just stopped there the other day to check it out. It looks pretty good. Get in contact for a free consultation or to refer someone that you know. We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. That is the network that this show is on right now. Go to People of Comedy on Facebook. See all the great shows offered there. Check in daily. They've got not only new fresh podcasts you can watch and listen to, but they do a bunch of other great events, and they just completed. You guys did South by Southwest for Zanies.
We did. You want me to go into that a little bit, or?
Yeah, tell me. I mean, you know,
sounds like it was fun. So please.
I mean, South by Southwest is a festival that people are familiar with. They're doing it virtually this year. Is that what's going down?
So yeah, the entire fest is online this year, and the comedy portion of the festival is runs the whole length of the festival. And only a few select cities got to be part of it. And we were charged with the very difficult task of filming, editing, and delivering an entire show in 36 hours. And that did happen. So I got
Wow.
4 hours of sleep. I spent 28 straight hours working on the final edits.
How does your ass feel? Because you had to have been sitting in a seat.
I mean,
for a long
I love this
time,
chair.
bro.
Thank God for this chair, dude. This chair is, by I can't remember the brand, but Secret Lab.
The brand sent you one for free.
Yeah, Secret Lab. Everybody invest in Secret Lab chairs. But yeah, so we 5 of the best comedians in Chicago or anywhere in the world performed at Zanies in Rosemont.
Who were they?
It was Calvin Evans hosted, and then Maddie Ryan, Corey Boyd Bell, Sarah Perry, M. Brown. It was an all-star cast. Yeah, it was no dry eyes in the house for the entire show. And then 9 camera shoot. Special thanks to everyone involved with the shoot: Stephen Haas, Andrew Massa, Ricky Havensek, Radescu Hopkins, fucking Manny Rodriguez. Dude, like everyone involved in the shoot,
all hands on deck.
All hands on deck. Brian Morton, especially Chris Lang. We put it together. We shipped it in with I believe 30 seconds to spare for the upload time. But we nailed it. There's definitely stuff I don't like, but I only got to look at it twice before I had to send it off. So
they should have fucking. How long was the segment that you guys did?
So they charged everyone involved in submission had to have a 55-minute show, and we got 54 and 11 seconds. So we
Wow.
fucking nailed that.
Wow.
And then we sent it in, and there's a bunch of different slots for these showcases and stuff to be shown throughout the day. And the consensus from South by Southwest, and this is a quote from the comedy booker, Charlie, I love it. And we are going to have this headline day 3 of the festival. So March 17th, that is a Thursday night at 8 p.m., Chicago is headlining South by Southwest. Yes. Or March 18th, I'm sorry. What is March 17th?
St. Patrick's Day, my dude. How are you a Chicagoan? It's St. Patrick's Day every goddamn year.
I misspoke. Thank God it's actually not St. Patrick's Day. It's the 18th, so people will actually be awake to watch it. But it's March 18th, Thursday at 8 p.m. on South by Southwest.
Oh, that'd be great. People be home recovering.
Yeah. Right. They'll need something to keep them feeling good, and Chicago's headlining that day. So yeah, that's
amazing, man.
That's super awesome.
Did every city involved only have 36 hours, or was there we got thrown into the ring last minute? Or
we were the only ones. So I mean, and this is hey Brian, you could have given me a little bit more warning here, but we were the only one with that kind of a time crunch. Every other city had their stuff submitted, or at least shot and edited in a proper fashion before us. So. Yeah, so
imagine what you do if you had.
That was my thing. I was asking that specifically for that reason.
If I had a week,
let's see.
we'd headline every fucking day. We'd crush every city every day. So
hey, James, great job. But I need to go back to something real quick. There was something I threw an alley oop up and nobody slammed it down. So I'm gonna try one more time.
Yeah.
Shout out Brian Morton.
Yeah, shout out Brian Morton.
Love shout outs.
Yes, Brian Morton loves shout outs.
The show. Y'all don't want to give love?
No, Brian put all this together. He got he fucking got the South by Southwest hookup, for God's sake. So, without Brian, this wouldn't have been possible. And then, Chris
over. To be clear, we're all pretty high right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm riding the wave of the incredible news.
I know. I'm sitting here just listening to the story. It's like, I'm like, yes, Brian Morton does love shout outs.
This is so weird. Is this what it's like working with me?
Yes.
I waited till the show started to get high.
Oh, yeah. Is
this what it's been like working with me the whole time?
Yes.
You guys even look confused when I did the Brian Morton shout outs. You motherfuckers
I want to be. I want to be clear. I got I've been to recap what's been beneficial from my week. I had a conversation with somebody last week who I had spoken to about looking into their potential ADHD issues, and they ended up getting prescribed Adderall, and they've been taking it. And we had a conversation, and we were talking about it, and they told me how helpful it has been for them. And I, as the person who had originally suggested maybe getting it checked out, am someone who consistently forgets to take my medication, right? I have it, but I also part of my issue is that I'll forget to do shit I'm supposed to do. So the very pill that's supposed to help me remember to do all my shit, I gotta get something to remember.
I also want to shout out Adderall real quick. Without Adderall, this
all right, I'm alive here.
South by Southwest would not have been possible without Adderall. So thank you very much.
I'm just trying to see what Brian Morton looked like. I just, you know what I mean? Because I ain't been in Chicago in a while. So some of the names that you were naming, I'm like, oh, do I know that? Yeah, I know that. But I'm trying to remember where I remember them from.
Laugh Factory. You remember him from Laugh Factory?
He used to be Curtis's right hand man at Laugh Factory.
Oh yeah, Brian Morton. Yes. Now I know exactly who he is.
He's the one who's doing a lot of the booking and stuff at Zany's now.
Right? That's when that's the piece that needed to fall in for me because I'm like, I know this name. I just can't remember. Yeah. Man, that dude is a really cool dude, actually.
Yeah.
Welcome to the conversation.
Maybe you should check in to get some Adderall, brother.
Can we get sponsored by Adderall, please?
Yeah, we can get. But that's what I was saying. Is
but not the way that you think.
I made the decision last week to just set the bottle by my bedside because, I don't know why I just never even just considered it's in the medicine cabinet and I don't need to open that motherfucker. Every once in a while I open it, I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I need to take that, and then I close it, and then I don't think about it for a month, and all of a sudden I'm like, why is it 4:00 and I've done 2 things today? I've eaten and I've shit.
Shit, that's interesting because I do that a lot. I just attribute it to being at home all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is bullshit. I wouldn't be here.
But much better organization. Anyway, I say all that to say, like, because I've been properly taking my medicine this week, I had everything for the show done early, so I could start getting high quick as hell.
I noticed that. I noticed that.
I seen the note
earlier than we normally do. Like, damn, Bobby's on this game today, boy. I
was like, shit, this is early as hell. I was thinking this. I swear to God, I was thinking.
I had the promo material before noon, which is cool at noon. I'm not mad at not getting it at noon. When I had it at like 10:30, I was like, the fuck is going on with Bobby?
See, like that's the thing is, like, naturally I am usually like I do want to be in. I'm big on doing the production part of the show. Like, I like doing that. It's a thing I feel comfortable doing. But also, like, without the medication, like, sometimes that's going to come at like 2:30 in the afternoon. Right. Because, like, my mind is on so many, I can't get my head to, like, focus on the pass I need to do, put everything in order to get it. So that's been my week. It's been a very highly organized week. That's what's been going on with me. Rob, what's been up with you, man? How's your week?
Hey guys, I am like, it's okay. I'm gonna say it like how I feel it. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm really new to being a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to handle this. You know what I'm saying? Like, even now, it's making me hyperventilate. You know? Like, dude, I just am overwhelmed with the amount of shit that I get to do right now.
This is the best shit ever.
Hell yeah.
And dude, I'll be asking people to do shit and they just be doing it. I'm like, God damn.
Okay, everybody right now, we are witnessing, like, there's somebody like shit hit and they changed. This is the moment that Rob changes because he's starting to realize he can just ask niggas for shit and they'll do it.
Dude, it's so funny, man. So I was like, damn, and dude, it's not just that. It's how complex it is around me, and I'm not realizing it. Now, I know y'all hear me say this, and I know some people are sick of hearing me say it, but I'm saying I can't feel no different than how I feel, right? And I'm saying, like, I'm thinking, like, wow, I know a lot of guys who will come on my podcast if I just ask them. And then I start thinking, and the reason they let me on it because I've been doing they shit for years. And I'm thinking I was doing they shit because they was doing me a favor all the while. People wanted to see me. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, shit, I'm finna start asking people to be on my podcast. Now I can't tell y'all the people we gonna have on the podcast because I haven't scheduled them. Right. But once I get them scheduled, it's gonna be some really interesting people. Some people that are world renowned at this game we play. And so I want y'all to know that it's coming, and I want you to tell other people and tell them all about the People of Comedy Network, because if we control the audience, we could give them the quality that they deserve. Hell yeah. And every one of us on this podcast is capable of doing that. And so that's why we got to get it out there and keep talking about it. So please share this. Please, if you are a Toby Jones fan, do Toby a favor. Share it with somebody who knows somebody. And if you don't know exactly who I am, give me one more second. Go in your cell phone, open up any goddamn app, anything on the planet that has information in it, and you ain't even got to type the whole motherfucking thing. All you got to type is Jones, and you're going to see me dancing with a motherfucker in a chicken suit and a dinosaur suit. Now, dig, if I can create that brilliance in a minute and a half, what you think I'm gonna do when I go on tour for 45 minutes?
There's a brother who believes in himself. There we go. Black History doesn't have to be just a month. You know what I'm
saying? Normally, I would wait until after the show to talk about this. But since we're doing all this behind the scenes shit, I'm gonna do it now. Bobby, from now on, I go before Rob because I can't follow that shit. Like, I gotta talk about my week now, nigga. Fuck you. Like, I'm not gonna do no fabulous shit like that. Nobody's doing anything for me. All right, because so here, you know what I was gonna do? I'm gonna show you why.
That's just like, I ain't shrink no clothes in the laundry this week.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just gonna show you what would happen If had I not made it, I'm gonna show you. Ask me what my week was like.
Hey, X, what was your week like, man?
Hey, man, I made a great barbecue sandwich. That was the story, man. You overcame, you got your medication right, you did a whole bunch of shit, you were super productive. That's a nice starter, right? That's a nice starter. Rob is like coming into his own, people recognizing his superpower. That shit is triumphant, man. I show for the flow, we have a bunch of stars. That goes last. That's a headline. Barbecue chicken sandwich story. Don't really fly right now. It's a delicious sandwich. It's a fucking amount.
Hey man, it's a barbecue sandwich. That's Toby Jones' specialty. Nigga, ride that wave. Get on that wave, ride that.
See what I mean? Yeah. The chicken sandwich shouldn't have been the headliner.
I probably should ask you guys before the show what you plan to say.
I gotta go first from now on, and then Rob go. Just in case he got Superman shit.
You got some big shit coming up this week though, X, right? You got you're back on duty this week.
I'm back on stage, baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be talking about that chicken sandwich too, because it's amazing. I'm figuring out how to write a joke about the recipe because people need to know about it. It was
my god. Dude, I heard the setup of it, and the setup is amazing, nigga. This dude tell you about every bit of this sandwich.
Go for a chicken sandwich, just not following that shit. Following what Rob just did.
Right.
On a regular week, that would have been a great way to cap off. Not this week. So I want that to happen again. I don't want that.
I'll look out for you, brother. I really gotta take the blame on this one. I'm gonna take the lead on this one and try and I'm gonna get in front of it and say I'm sorry.
I know you. You didn't know. We didn't know.
I hope the Core XL fans will forgive me. I don't want to be offensive to your base. Them ladies can be mean.
Yeah, there you go.
Them ladies can be.
But I will
get a dude in the audience that like this.
Hey, the chicken sandwich gonna sell. I'm trying to tell you, man. The chicken sandwich gonna sell. This shit was I really was about to Google how to, back in the day you could go up to, you can't do that anymore because there's too many crazy people. Well, back in the day, you could have a great sandwich and walk up to McDonald's hey, peep this sandwich, man. This shit is amazing. You could do that. In the 60s, in the 50s, you for sure could go up to Ray Kroc and just be like, hey man, I got a great fucking sandwich. I'm pretty sure I'm not even fucking around.
Because he was like Edison. He's like, I don't need to invent shit. I'll just buy your shit if you can.
I'm pretty sure that's the Filet-O-Fish was some local dude in Cleveland, I think.
It was Timmy Long John. It was
he was doing it for Catholics.
Married into the Silver family, I think.
And that shit caught on and became their shit.
Yeah. Most people who have risen to the elite levels in this country have stolen some of it for sure. There's at least a basis of theft. It's that's why. Sometimes you walk out with a pack of gum. You're like,
what I'm saying is,
I'm a great American.
There's no way you can do that now. There's no way I can't go up to Wendy.
No.
Or she run the joint now, right? David's dead. Dave's dead.
Yeah, Wendy. I don't even know if she wants to run the joint, but she running it. I don't even know if she,
I can't call up and say, I got this barbecue chicken sandwich you might want to check out.
Nah.
I don't know.
She's because she's my dad named the whole fucking restaurant after me, and I was a goddamn kid. Why would you even think I would listen to any outside ideas? I've been the name of the kingdom since I was a child. Okay, the kingdom was named after me.
She'd only be talking to me so they could trace the call.
Right. Hey. That's a good note actually, because you're talking about crazies. And that's exactly how we wanted to open the show, because the March 4th is come and gone. At last check, Donald Trump was not sworn in as the 19th president or whatever the fuck they thought was going to happen. I know that people who have long claimed that the end of the world was coming are good at consistently pushing the date back. Remember, it's supposed to be 2012 was supposed to be the date. They made a whole movie with John Cusack
all
about
of us
that
old
shit.
enough to remember it was supposed to be 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the Switch, the old 2000 Switch. The whole movie Office Space is based off of that concept. Those guys are working to set shit up for the year 2000 Switch. That's what they were the work they were doing at that company. And that's why it was such a dead end job, because after the year 2000, it was like, what the fuck are we gonna do now? Set the shit up for 2100? Like, what the nah, we're gonna be out of job. But like, you know, it's the day came and passed. Nothing happened. Those people are still gonna be crazy about that shit. There's still a whole bunch of, they've called for an extension of protection in the Capitol from the National Guard for like another month.
Dude, I said it from when it's
still gonna be nuts.
off. Abraham Lincoln was popped a month after the second inauguration. Shit ain't over till it's over. You gotta round some of these motherfuckers up, man. You gotta round these motherfuckers up. Otherwise,
like, until all the trials and shit are done and everybody's put away and that dust is settled, there's no.
Hey, did you see, oh boy, the dude that had his feet up in Nancy Pelosi's office? Did you see the transcripts from his shit?
When he was saying shit, it wasn't fair or whatever.
Everybody else is getting to go home. This is
motherfucker, that's what jail is all about. You did some dumb shit and they locked your dumb ass up. Shut the fuck up. What do you think we supposed to keep letting you walk around after you to put your legs on this bitch death? No.
Yeah, he's got to stay. He's got to stay in jail until his trial. Is what.
Here's the crazy shit. Here's the crazy shit. He snapped off too soon. If I understand correctly, it was a preliminary hearing, but they were talking about some shit March 4th. That was something else. They were going to talk some more and talk about getting him out before that. But he didn't let him get to that because he started snapping. His lawyer kept trying to tell him, hey.
Because he's dumb.
Yeah. But
D-U-M-B. Listen, I just want to be clear that, like, this is not about there's no prejudice in understanding that there are just some people who are smarter about some basic concepts than others, right? Like, it's just a shakeout. That's just how it's going to be. Like, there's always going to be someone who jumps the highest and someone who can't jump really at all. The same thing is going to happen with some intelligence. This motherfucker is dumb. Okay.
I'm a beg to differ. I don't think the man is dumb. What he is inexperienced. You understand? He ain't never not got his way around the motherfuckers he's been around. Look at him, he a big bully looking motherfucker.
I mean, he sat in Pelosi's
like a throw rug, and he's sitting there with his mouth open with his feet up and shit, because nobody never challenged him. So now he finding out, oh, this is why y'all treat niggas? This is what's happening. This is what's happening.
Also, I think they might be trying to squeeze that nigga, because to highlight this whole everybody else is getting out. That's a weird thing to scream, because I ain't heard nothing about anybody else getting out. Like, all these niggas' cases are news. So it sounds like somebody been telling them motherfuckers is getting out, trying to squeeze him. And yeah, exactly what you said, Rob. It's working, because this nigga's in a, you don't know that they running game on his ass. Because they don't, I mean, you only get like, what, an hour of TV, 2 hours of TV, right, Rob? Would you say? I don't. You know what? I don't know what their facility is set up like, because our facility,
it's all different.
Yeah, in our facility, it was 2 TVs in a day room, so you watch TV all day, except for the times that you were locked up until it was time to lock up overnight. So that means like from 7 in the morning for like an hour break between 3 and 4, maybe 2, and then from 4 till about 10, and even then they didn't cut the TV off. You could watch from your cell.
Wow.
So it's TV on all day long, every day.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So basically all you're saying is you got to get past the smell and you got free cable?
I mean, you got limited shit you probably can watch on that motherfucker.
Right. You got very limited.
Man, I can adapt. I'm pretty smart, man. I'll find a way to love anything, even if it's just tearing it apart from like how bad it is.
So based on that thought, he probably is watching TV. You know what I'm saying? Based on the way the facility's set up, he probably watching TV every day.
There's nothing on. I mean, unless I'm missing something, and maybe there is some stuff about James. You know anything about any of the Capitol attackers getting out?
No.
MSNBC, they said right before he said it on the evening shows, they said in the morning time And they even talked about the chick with the Heil Hitler hand with the weird ears.
Yeah.
They said that not only did they let her go, she did some more dumb shit, and they let her go from that too, right? And so
they free.
No, I'm saying it ain't over with, but I'm saying she gets to go and walk and live life.
Right. She's out until her trial, basically, right?
Right.
What's going on? Yeah, I mean that's the issue. There's some people that are for sure getting out on trial out before their trial who are like,
I wonder how rich that bitch is.
If you post your bond, if they give you a bond and you post it, then
like yeah, but if you break the law again, like almost immediately after they just gave it to you, and then they give you another one, you got to have some serious paper. Because that second bond is typically higher than the first one was. Mm-hmm. So that's money to put up. And secondly, it's going to be significantly.
I mean, oftentimes the judge is like, okay, so we let you out and you done fucked up. So obviously being out is a problem.
And they did not lock her ass back up, Bobby. They let her be out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue is that there's just an argument over what was going on because they had that cat Salassis and Wallace sitting like steps just 8 feet away from each other, arguing about when help was allowed to come. Like there was a point where the one cat was sitting there like, yeah, we get dispatch help almost immediately, and the other guy was like, it was like 3 hours later. There's still not agreement, and that's a thing that's wild to me is like they're debating over shit that there's like literal transcript on, and like you can see on the cameras when the shit is going on. It's one of those crazy things where they're literally trying to tell you that like blue is green, right? Like. Man, man, y'all held up shit. Michael Flynn's brother, the guy who was in jail for lying and essentially being a part.
You can see exactly where it stops. You can see where the bullshit in the chain of command starts from these hearings.
So weird to me. It's one of the things where I'm just like,
the motherfuckers in uniforms, they're telling you the truth. Now, the first motherfucker past the uniform dude is lying his ass off. And he's trying to find little bitty chinks in the armor of your panic to say that all of this shit is wrong. So like if you say this shit happened at 7:42, and it's like, no, it was more like 7:41. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Fuck you.
It's every bit of an inch they can get. It's even now. I saw somebody the other day on a post somewhere who was trying to claim that what happened on the 6th wasn't an attack, and I'm like, people died. 140 people were hurt. Cops were hurt. What else would that be other than an attack by people who ran at a building with weaponry and you said weaponry to get inside? They shot somebody,
that woman got shot and everybody was okay with it.
Right. Yeah, nobody is like we need justice for her. Everybody just was like, well,
there is a small segment, but they're all the motherfuckers.
Her parents. That's the only people.
I mean, the motherfucker in that Storm in the Building Society, there was a
right. Yeah, I love that. The Storm in the Building Society. That's the
the motherfucker. Yeah, because she was,
they got a whole movement, man. And what's wild is they get caught up on so many other silly like over the last 2 weeks, the things they've been caught up on. Instead, like y'all literally just tried to bum rush the Capitol and hang and kill motherfuckers. And over the last 2 weeks, you've been shitting on the fact that the Muppet Show added some disclaimers, and we remembered that potatoes don't come with genders. And
oh my god!
And Dr. Seuss's company decided to not publish some books anymore. That they were like, we don't like how these look either. And you're mad at and like that's the big the Dr. Seuss shit is so hilarious to me. Because it's been this excuse, right? Like the response is because people, first of all, the idiocy is like, if you have to lie about what you're claiming, then obviously there's a problem. So like if you say they're trying to cancel Dr. Seuss, we're already off to a bad start because, the first response is always like, well, No, the company itself they went through this whole process and they decided these are 6 books that they don't think are good representations. They're inappropriate. They have bad depictions and characterizations of people of color, right? Specifically Black people, Asians, so on and so forth. And then instead of going, okay, I get that, I could see why that might be a thing that would upset some people, maybe that's okay. The response instead is like, they're only doing that because Antifa is going to attack them. And it's like, how do we get to Antifa attacking? Like,
also, here's the shit that's crazy. How come the FBI has like stacks of information? They have text messages, they have chat boards, they have social media shit. They have actual footage of the motherfuckers attacking, of all the motherfuckers in the queue and on the right. We have footage of all that. But Antifa, these motherfuckers don't have it. They ain't got a snitch.
They got one Antifa that's turned on the rest of the Tifas.
They even got a Huggy Bear. Like, yeah, baby, we protesting week next week. Like,
where's the Antifa Lakeith Stanfield? Where's the?
Oh my god! Hey man, it's so many jokes in the shit that y'all just said. It's because I'm high and I got to remember the chronology of what just was said, and this shit was hilarious. The first thing is, when we look at the whole idea of these 6 pictures that I saw in 6 books are drawing up so much bullshit. I think back to the fact when I was a man that was stupid, when I was learning to be better at who I was, when I was losing an argument, I just get very angry. Very angry. I wasn't really angry. I'm just realizing I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying to you is, this is what this shit is. We can't say shit about none of this shit because we have totally fucked it up. So let's change the subject to some dumb shit that don't matter. They done fucked up Mr. Potato Head. I don't give a fuck about that. You're wrong. And
how about can we just stop and say for like one quick second before we go anywhere else? The fuck is Mr. Potato Head still a thing for? We got computers now. Who still gives their kid Mr. My son was born.
I don't think you get it, X.
I didn't even have a Mr. Potato Head.
These are the grown adults who are still playing with Mr. Potato Head. That's they're concerned about Dr. Seuss. They're concerned about Dr. Seuss because those are the books they know how to read. Those are
for kids that do the same shit than fucking Mr. Potato Head. That shit feels like it's a choke hazard. How is that still a thing?
I don't know. I
liked it from when I was a kid. I'm not shitting on Mr. Potato Head. I'm just saying I didn't even know they still made those. I thought it was like a novelty thing. I thought the only reason you would see a Mr. Potato Head is because of Toy Story.
And you remember those things you shake them and then he makes stands and shit, shake them and shit. The same shit you hear about all the time with the toys of poor children.
Right. The thing with the Seuss issue is like, when that pushback comes where they're just doing it because the woke mob is making them, I like, as someone who's Black, I sit there and go, what if they just looked around and were like, hey, that was shitty that this guy did this and made these pictures, y'all. We think it's inappropriate, and so we're gonna try and do better. So like instead of looking at that and be like, hey man, I think it's great that these guys looked at these pictures and looked at y'all and were like, I think this is probably rude for y'all. And because to me, I'm like, I look at the pictures they have of those Africans in that book, and I'm like, that feels insulting, obviously, to me. that feels like a weird, inappropriate representation of my culture. So like the idea that the company is deciding to do it, if I feel like looking at, and I feel like I'm seeing it from the aspect of them going, oh, right, this was fucked up, we shouldn't have this, not we're succumbing to a mob. Like I see them being
there was
like,
no pressure on them.
Like sometimes also it's good to succumb to like what some people are getting together to say about you. Sometimes it's okay to just like you said, Rob, like instead of getting mad, sometimes it's okay to be like, oh, all y'all are pointing out this issue that we've been doing, right? Like there's an Antifa protest in an Andy Go book. And Andy Go is he's a right-wing guy who put out this shitty ass book. It's horrible, and they put it at this bookstore called Powell's. And Antifa protests at the bookstore, and so Powell's is like, we're not going to advertise the book, we're going to keep it, but we're not going to you can get online or whatever. We're just not going to advertise it anymore. And that is the closest. Sometimes it's good to make a point, you know what I mean? To be like, hey, you should do something about this guy who's basically preaching white supremacy. Not every book has to be published just because somebody wrote it. You know what I mean? Nor do we need to keep things in certain.
Somebody's preaching white supremacy. We should definitely make it hard for them to get the word out.
Nor do we have to keep printing something so that people can profit off of something just so we can teach people about a historical thing. You can just be like, oh, there's this book that used to exist. It had this picture and this picture, but you don't have to keep printing the book up and allowing people to profit off of it. Because that's what essentially they're arguing for.
Because it's still everywhere digitally.
Is that you should still be able to, but you know what I mean? That's the inverse of the argument essentially is what you are saying is that you would like people to be able to continue profiting off of these images. You want this company to keep selling this image of us so that you can show it to your kids. And it's like, well, fuck you for thinking that should be a thing that you should get to keep doing, right? Why is it so important for you for these books that nobody even fucking remember? Of all the Seuss books, nobody even knows what the fuck these books are. You couldn't recite them from memory. You might get one of them.
I didn't recognize any of the motherfuckers, and I grew up a huge,
everybody grew up reading that shit, man.
I was about to say some stupid shit. I grew up a huge Dr. Seuss fan. Oh, in the world with colors, nigga, and people breathe air. Everybody's a fucking Dr. Seuss fan. But my point is that when I saw the books that they were, my first response was relief. I was like, oh, it was none of the shit that I already know and like, and I just missed. I was like, wait a second, this is some shit I've been watching this whole time that had some super racist shit that I was over my head or something.
Yeah, I was super worried that green eggs and ham was gonna be fucked up. I was like, no.
Niggas the ham,
not redfish, bluefish.
It's anyway.
Hey man, you know what? You know what my struggle with
this episode was niggas the ham, but anyway.
the reason why I'm so far outside of this conversation, and you guys consistently remind me of how dumb I can be sometimes, and it's amazing, right? Because I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm struggling with myself. I'm sitting here thinking the only ones I know I never read. I just read the cartoons. You know what I'm saying? I never read none of that shit. I just watched it on TV, right? So, and I started thinking damn, when I think back, I really didn't read that much. You know? But here's the thing, man. I watched a lot of television. And that informs my storytelling. Now, that may be why I do have ADD. But I never thought I did until we just started talking recently. Because it's my struggle. I just go through it quietly and try to fix what's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think I would need any type of assistance doing this shit. I'm like, okay, some shit just don't get done. You know, that's what I was thinking. And so as I'm listening to y'all talk about this, I was thinking the only ones I know is only 2 or 3 of them, and it's the ones that they showed on TV. And even in those, I really didn't care for them either. I even as a kid, I was like, this thing is hideous. I don't want to look at this no more. You know what I'm saying? I like unpleasant shit. And for me, this thing looked horrible, and I didn't want to look at it no more. So it was just they could have killed Dr. Seuss. I wouldn't have gave a fuck.
Okay. Okay, we got James. When James comes back, we got to make sure we tag the episode at this point. This 100% has to get edited out. I do not want footage of Rob saying they can kill Dr. Seuss. I mean,
that's the clip, nigga. That's the clip. The clip is him saying they can kill Dr. Seuss. That's gonna be the whole thing. It's a 6 second clip, dog.
He was a racist fuck, but apparently. Green eggs and ham still slaps.
Well, they're doing all this to try and avoid keeping people from paying attention to the actual shit that's going down. The For the People Act passed this week, HR 1. It's supposed to be the most comprehensive voting bill since the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It's going to end partisan gerrymandering. It's going to change how gerrymandering will work, so you won't be able to fucking like that. You know, the issue with gerrymandering right now is obviously if you win the seats, if you control your state seats, you can kind of draw up the districts as you want. It's going to change how that works so that that will be a thing that won't happen the way that it has been, which is pretty crazy. They're going to have automatic and election day registration, 2 weeks of early voting, no excuses, absentee voting, and it's going to finance matching funds for congressional and progressive and presidential candidates, which is a huge, crazy. I mean, you know, that's a wild change to how voting will work.
Yeah,
like nationally, it's a big deal.
Gerrymandering needs to end. I'm excited about this bill because I think this bill is a setup to either end or dramatically change the filibuster. Because there's no point in sending that bill across unless you plan on taking out the filibuster or taking it out, doing a surgeon's scalpel to the filibuster and saying, you know what? Here's going to sound crazy. I know you're going to think this is the moderate of me. I know the filibuster is bullshit, but I believe to make this shit work, you have to compromise even with shit and stuff. I would say taking the filibuster back to its original format that forces them to
be on the floor and
actually filibust. To bust a
man, I do not want to listen to Mitch McConnell read, you know,
bring that ham.
That's my point. Mitch McConnell don't want to sit there and read that shit. It works. That shit only lasts for so long. And when like basically, I just listened to somebody say this last night, and I agree with the theory. Things that are very popular that the citizens want, that goes beyond politics, like shit that has 90% support, like gun laws and shit that have 90% support. Like, fuck you for holding it up with parliamentary tricks and shit like that. Fucking at least put it to a vote and stand behind your vote. You don't want it to happen? That's fine. Then go answer to the people that do. Your and force people to do that shit. And so if you have to stand there, like if they try to do a filibuster on this care package, they'd get shit on, because I think it's up to 55% now of Republicans want this fucking care package to go through.
Even in some of the states where there are people who highly oppose shit, like in West Virginia.
West Virginia, yeah.
West Virginia's got like 70% of the people in West Virginia wanted a $15 minimum wage, and Manchin voted against it today. There were 8 Democrats who voted against the minimum wage.
The governor of West Virginia, who's Republican as fuck, was like, "No, we want this care package.
Yeah,
like we need this."
Yeah,
Manchin was the only one on some bullshit.
They passed the George Floyd Act, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which is amazing that there's a bill that was able to be passed. They, you know, who knows whether the cops that killed them will do any time, but they at least they got a bill passed.
They just added a third charge back to them. So
all these things you mentioning, they didn't pass. They just went through the House.
Yeah, they passed through the House, right?
Well,
but they're never going to pass through the Senate.
But that's what I'm saying. The only reason to send them over is if they plan on, if they get rid of the filibuster or make a change to the filibuster that requires them to actually do some effort to filibuster shit that they're against.
Yeah, the point of this is that it sets up the point of why I'm bringing this up is it sets up a very interesting situation in regards to whether they're going to keep the filibuster or not, because obviously this is something that's going to need either 60 votes or the end of the filibuster. Like you gotta find, and they're not getting 60 votes right there. There's not going to be 10 Republicans, so there's going to be
50.
There's a huge test. There's a huge test coming up.
I disagree with that.
They might be able to get that.
Manchin's not going to be against voting.
One of the
no, not voting. I'm saying the filibuster. he has already come out and said he was against the filibuster. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like I don't know
breaking up the filibuster. I mean,
here's what I'm telling you. I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like Biden has something in his back pocket on Joe Manchin. I don't know what it is, but he has something. Because every time that question has come up, Joe Biden has said with a very confident, in a very, very confident way, we're gonna be all right. Like it's gonna happen. This nigga's gonna do what I tell him to do. And I don't know why he believes that, but he seems to be super fucking confident about it. And here's the thing I'm gonna say: they wouldn't send it over. Now, if the Senate doesn't take it up, then we'll know some bullshit going on. But if the Senate takes it up, I can't see them sending it over and the Senate taking it up to get embarrassed by one of their own guys. That doesn't help them at all because you're not going to beat Joe Manchin in West Virginia. That nigga's like
exactly.
That doesn't help us at all, other than maybe for campaigning for 2022 to say we made the vote, we tried to do this shit, and they blocked us, vote these senators out. That's the only thing I can imagine the jiu-jitsu of why the political jiu-jitsu to do that.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that in just a quick second because one of the other things I want to bring up is that speaking of George Floyd, one of the big impacts that have happened there's been some recent studies over what's happened in this country with Black Lives Matter and the effect it's had on how race has worked here. The support has gone a lot higher. It's also caused a decrease in, like, post-protest. There's been a decrease in police brutality and police homicides over the 5 years since Black Lives Matter protests was started. So, it seems as if more awareness is causing something. I still feel like the rate is too slow for satisfaction.
Here's the thing.
But studies are basically showing that, like, action does do something.
Here's the thing. The police are that, that old expression, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Right.
The only thing the police have is superior force, that coming in and dominating. You control the situation. And that's their only ball game. And they are never going to be what we need. We're never gonna get rid of fucking police brutality. It's baked into the system. That's why that shit needs to just get destroyed and reconfigured.
Yeah, I mean, reconfigured for sure. It needs to be. There's just a it's a thing that we've talked about before. When you create a system that's based on something that is insane, like slave patrols, and then instead of going, we need to restructure how this whole operation works, you just go, well, we're just going to tell people they can't put niggas in chokeholds no more. Like, man, that's just not, I don't know. I just didn't seem like a big enough step. You know what I mean? Like, they're not, that's not the type of reform that we're really talking about.
Being around the cats who actually do the shit, and I see the amount of bravado in their demeanor, as if they are like, when you hear them talk about enforcing the law, they consistently say it like they are the mavericks of the world. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, I'm out here where the rubber meets the road. I'm out here where we're getting it done. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that you're getting done? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so the whole mentality of these people, that's number one that's messed up. But the number two thing is that when I look back, and I'm not saying, I will tell you what they say the reason is. And
they're all Bruce Willis, right? They all think
every one of them want to be that dude. Everyone, like, and dude, I was in a class with it's at least 3 or 4 of those dudes in every class. Now, those are the extreme ones, but the other ones is like, I'm just here to keep these niggas in check. Now, they may not be as violent about it as these people are, but they still have the same mentality of these people. So here's what I'm trying to get to. This is the point I wanted to make. When you would patrol for slaves, which is what these police do, they patrol. When you patrol for slaves, they used to call the dudes that patrol for slaves patty rollers, right? Now, why did they call them that? Where is that consistently in our culture? It has something to do with the Irish, right? And so now when they start locking people up in these mechanized things as trucks and shit, they call those paddy wagons. Now, the reason that they call those paddy wagons is because they was locking up a lot of Irish dudes, right? And so they called them the paddy wagons. But whatever the reason you called them, they are still consistently the same name, because they are consistently to give you, the black person, a degree of fear when you hear it. And let me just get this one last point out. When I was a young man, I was very lucky because my parents could afford to dress me well and I spoke nice. So a lot of the time the police would look at me and then look at my less, what they considered intelligent friend, and start fucking him up and leave me alone, right? And these are things that they would come back to me with. Man, them motherfuckers put me in the back of that truck and turned on the heat, and then they drove off and stopped. And you back there beating the fuck up because your hands are cuffed behind your back. Now, I'm just saying, when you see this type of brutality, when you're around this type of angriness every day, it informs the way you think about the country. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a the
Hotep Hour by Robert Hahn. The Hotep Hour.
The thing they don't want to address in the process is, and I think this is where the issue falls into place, is that the concept of defunding the police means an investment into the actual community. And so the way that you create less criminals is you create more opportunities in which people don't have to break the law so as to which to get by, or don't find it as appealing, right? Like, I've known plenty of people who are like, get a job and make $12 an hour. Like, why would I do that? It doesn't make any, pay taxes on $12 an hour. That makes no financial sense based on what I'm doing right now and the risk I'm taking on, right? Like, it is worth this risk not to have to do, and wear a uniform and have a person tell me where I got to stand from this time to this time and ask why I was in the bathroom for so long. Nah. You know what I mean? Like, so like, unless you find a way to start making the socialized American world more of a achievable thing for people from the neighborhoods in which a lot of the crime comes from, or unless you start to get it, you have to start getting in there and teaching people how to move to some different levels or change the concept. But also you have to change what the concept of crime is. There's plenty of criminals who are wearing white collars every day committing crimes. Those are also criminals, right? Yeah. Like, those are criminals too. So like, what are we really talking about when we're talking about like the bad guys, right? Yeah. Did you get into being a police officer so you go stop the people who are doing financial crimes on Wall Street? Or did you get
no, they ain't gonna never let you near them motherfuckers.
So like, that's a mentality though, right? You did, like, that's a mentality we've got to work with.
Because when you talk about, they be talking about the young brothers doing crimes and shit. I have never met a drug pusher in my motherfucking life. Drugs sell themselves. They just happen to be a conduit. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's a real statement, though. That sounds like it's a joke, but it's serious, right? Like,
hey kid, that shit never happened. Okay, the closest to "hey kid" that might ever happen is if somebody tell you to run to the store to bring them some sodas or some shit like that.
The closest thing that ever happens is when you're in Times Square in New York and you dip off on one of the little side streets and you pass a Rasta and he's like, I got that dro. I got weed. I got dro. I got weed. I got dro. Like, you'll see if you're in Times Square at night, when you cut off on, like, if you break off of the main fucking square and you catch a little side street, like you're trying to get to a restaurant, you'll pass at least one cat in dreads who'll be like, I got that dro. Like,
I do.
Ain't like, here, take this.
No.
I got that dro.
He's just letting you know there's an open store available.
Hey, Bobby. And baby, you know why he's there? Do you know why he is there? Because white people are buying shit from him.
Right,
because
yeah, absolutely.
Sell his shit in his neighborhood, and them niggas know where he is.
Yeah.
He ain't got to go sell to them. They gonna come. Hey man, let me get two of them. You dig what I'm saying? But he got to go, in order to expand the market, he got to go down there where he go. Because you motherfuckers is smoking the shit too. You dig
but that's the thing. That's the thing that they're not discussing in this process of, like, the whole argument is about, like, Well, what happens when the crime happens? Well, how about we make sure there's less crime? How about we work to reduce? How about we make it so there's less crime, and then you don't have to worry about it. Like, yeah. So how about we create more mental health facilities so we can deal with people who are having those issues instead of letting it be a situation where a cop has got to show up and shoot somebody because,
also, wait a second. Also, this other thing I want to say: anybody who thinks that a drug dealer could not run a business is a fucking fool. Do you have any idea how hard it is to negotiate with criminals? They're drug dealers. And so you have to negotiate with those people, and then your clientele all have a drug problem. So they're not reliable. Also, you have to judge the cops. That's a very fucking, you gotta do all of that shit.
Collections, accounting, negotiating.
Small staff of 30 to 40 young men with weapons. It is not a very easy fucking thing to do.
Right.
Yeah, you think being a C-level executive at Cintas is harder than that? That's not
and all this shit you gotta do and try not to get killed. You dig what I'm saying? Like that's the and so for me, dude, I was watching this. I don't
give a fuck how hard Radio Shack's management training program is. Ain't nobody worried about getting popped.
Dude, I was watching this thing on Netflix about the history of weed, right? I've watched a few of those and I enjoyed them greatly. And it was this one dude, it was just so funny as the documentarian is just telling the truth. And that's what gives me hope about America is that white folks is looking at this shit like, this is some dumb shit y'all doing. And this little white boy is giving this motherfucker what for? He was like, okay, so the thing is, you guys have you guys are going to take over the marijuana industry. And then they talk about right before the guy answers the question, they talk about how many black people been locked up for selling weed. And then dude goes, well, hey, I can't help it if I'm a good businessman. Why wouldn't I get in this field? Why wouldn't I get in this industry? It's not my fault that I'm a better businessman than. And then it just make one more. I just want to make a parallel. I want y'all to ride this train parallel with me. I'm finally, like these sisters is killing it. I'm listening to the 1619 Project. And there was this dude that had a farm and his family was about farm. He loves the land. This man was born to be a farmer. His father died while helping him work his farm while these white folks are trying to take it from him. Now, I'll tell you how to try to, it ain't gonna take that long. Just ride it for a second. So these motherfuckers when you do farming, you have to sell your shit before you get paid. So that means you got to take out a loan to get the shit. So these cats would get out their loans, but you got to get them in a timely fashion because the ground is still sitting. You only have seasons to do shit. You only got so long to do it. So they was holding out before when him and his father was running together and these white folks was getting a few money out of him because he would rent their land. He was growing such great crop that other white folks like, yeah, you can work my land, just pay me rent for it. And he went to a massive amount of farm. Now, doing this, he's making a lot of money. And there's a lot of broke ass white folks around him. So what they do, they start making his loans take longer and longer. And then they started taking and everything started to domino down from there. And then he saw them doing the same shit to his cousin. And everybody was saying, he just don't know how to farm. He just can't do the shit. No, you keeping his fucking money, right? And so when it was all over with and they took his farm, because they took his, like they took his cousins, the new motherfucker they gave it to, he was belligerent when they asked him about, y'all about to ask me about this farm shit? Well, no, it ain't got nothing to do with race. It's just I'm a better farmer than him. I just know how to get the fuck out of here. Get the entire fuck out of here. You don't, anything you learned, you probably learned it from that motherfucker.
There's a repeated thing, and you were talking about this earlier, Rob. There's a repeated thing in this country of a cyclical manner in which white supremacy will try to keep coming back the minute there starts to be some equality that starts to happen. It's happening with this relief package you're trying to pass, where they're trying to limit where the money is going. It's happening with a couple of picks that Biden has for his cabinet. They've been going after a couple of people that Garland, Merrick Garland. They went to Merrick Garland going after him. Tom Cotton decided he's not going to vote to approve him, essentially because of his support for two other women. I forget their names off the top of my head. I think one's name is Clark. But they're both women of color. They're both going to be involved in high level positions. It happened. It's going on now. It happened when Obama was trying to get a woman of color into the cabinet position in 2008. It happened when the Clintons were trying to get a woman of color into a cabinet position. There's just this repetitive thing that happens over and over again where they try and the minute that a shot at potential equality happens, the Georgia goes Democrat, right? Georgia goes blue. What's the thing they're pushing right now?
Can't vote on
voter limit laws. They're trying to limit voter registration. They're trying to limit voter rights. They're trying to limit all this shit again to try and stop this down. Ron Johnson has the Senate reading the entire fucking bill in the Senate before they vote on it, just to try and slow the process down of getting money to the American people. Right.
Now that's where I agree with X. You gotta have these motherfuckers in the chamber while they doing the shit. You want it done, it's the rule is now in this Senate, this particular Senate, you want to do the shit, you stand your ass here and do it with the person that you making us do it.
Yeah, like that's the shit that they gotta change, because that's change that they putting on themselves too. That's why I think it's a fair change. The fair change, because both sides would be chained to the same shit of, okay, you want to pull this parliamentary trick shit? Cool. You got to stand your ass there like they did in the old days when they created this bullshit, because we didn't have technology and all that other blah, 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 blah. They didn't have to run to go do 5 minutes on Hannity or whatever.
No pee breaks.
Yeah. No, well.
Nope. No. Fuck that. I don't care. That's the rule. That's what we're going with now.
It's gotta be humanity.
Watch one of these 70,000-year-old niggas up there trying to read, not taking that. He's gonna go. You watch. You have a dude go up there in a hazmat suit. He's gonna pee. He's gonna have a little. He's gonna run a catheter. He's like, I was wearing one anyway.
Hey Bobby. They go. The city gonna start having piss tents.
They're gonna have Chuck
bring out this
Grassley
whole
up there.
tent, bring it around him, and he piss while he's still talking his shit. Then when he gets through, he knock on the tent. They take it away, and he take the bucket, and walk off.
Like the Ralph Macchio shower curtain from fucking.
Man, yeah, I mean, I am eating healthier because I really am trying to live long enough that I want to be around at least 20 years from now to look back on this shit with everybody else and go, no, for real, man. They was talking about having piss tents.
The left is on their own the right's on their own bullshit. There's still not everybody is it's not perfect everywhere. Cuomo is in some trouble, the governor in New York. He was already under some heat over the
Cuomo got a go-go.
Yeah, he was already in some heat. Well, see, and this is the thing about the right and the left is like, we just went through a president who's got 15 sexual harassment suits or some shit against him, like 2 or 3 chicks who said he raped them. One was 13 at the time. The other one is old enough to for sure remember what the fuck happened and be pretty squirt. Like she's like I think she's like a socialite herself. Like she knows what the fuck is up. And that is, and the difference is that like, we're straight up just like, yeah, get Cuomo the fuck out if he's got to go. Like we're literally like, yeah, man, if the man fucked up like this, then like, there's no, like, whereas, Lindsey Graham will turn around and cape for Trump right after saying he was disgusted with him and shit. It's not a matter of the fact that everybody who feels a certain way about politics is across the board necessarily better people. But when somebody who we tend to agree with politically does something like this, we are definitely okay with them being banished from the face.
Yeah. We
Anthony Weiner.
Yeah.
Anthony Weiner. Nigga, your name was Weiner. Why would you go up with some shit like that? Why would you go up?
I mean, do you think he was he had like you think he had a premeditated thing because of that? Like, do you think it was just like a subconscious, like, because like if you grew up and your name is Wiener, maybe you're kind of preoccupied with it your whole life. You know what I mean? Like, if my name was Donnie Big Toe, I'd be like, I'm in defeat. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to see your arch, baby. Just show me your arches.
It's funny as hell, man, because now I'm thinking about that. Like, I guess if I did have that issue, I would think that way. I didn't even think about it. I just thought, branding wise, you made a poor choice of the way to get off. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it could have been a reason for him getting off that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like that. It's a weird thing to get caught that many times doing the same shit, man. It is I don't understand that level of kink. Like because I feel like there had to be some part of him that had a release when he got caught. Because that's the only way. Hey man, I never sent a unsolicited dick pic. Okay.
I have never done that either.
I have also stopped sending even the solicited ones now because I just don't want that heat. I just don't want
my thought process has always been you've had to have seen my dick once in person for me to send you a picture of it.
Oh yeah,
like I'm not giving you a dick preview, bitch. Are you crazy? Like no. Once you've seen it, I'll send you something so you can hold on to a memory, but I'm not trying to I'm not trying to get you overly excited before you even see me. You gotta. It's a Cracker Jack box, lady. You gotta see what type of prize you're gonna get.
Also, yeah, they're not always photogenic. I remember one time it was the lighting, but I had my dick called Ashy. Several women. That was embarrassing. Ashy. It was not ashy. It was actually sheen. It was reflected off of it, but I didn't put a good filter on.
See, the problem when your dick is too black is that any type of sheen makes it look ashy.
Hey, man, that's why they give out Academy Awards for lighting.
Yeah, it really is, man. I mean, if I had a ring like this,
you'd probably just fuck the ring light. That's right.
Oh my god, dude, that's why we homies, dog. Next, dick in the light.
Dude, I swear to God, hey man, on my TikTok page, I have been putting up some fake commercials. I go on Amazon and I find the most ridiculous products you can find, and I do commercials for them, right? And one of them was called the Dick Ring. It was a soap that you could wash your dick with before, and it was made out of a ring. And dude, one of these little guys put on the comments like, "Hey man, is it one size fits all?"
I mean, depending how long you've been cleaning with it, like it may not. Maybe you just be able to wash the tip at first, but before you get up, before you're done, you can get it all the way down.
Oh my God. Man, I ain't lying, man. I was like,
they don't last very long though. They only last. You get like 1-2 washes out of them. You got to get another one.
Shows at that because here's the thing. How do you wash your dick with that and not masturbate? Like
that's why it's like 1 or 2 uses only. Because after the first second,
you like, just start stroking.
You're just like you're also not gonna touch it after like the third time. You're like, I think I'm good. I need a new one. I gotta stop doing this altogether. You break up with your girl, like.
Look, last night, man, I was doing this podcast, man. This brother, his name is Rex Garvin. He got a really good podcast. He was one of the starters. He's the reason why Raymond Lambert started All Jokes Aside. And Rex Garvin is an amazing man, but he kind of out there. Like he calls himself the funk prophet because that's who he is. And when I say that, that's all that comes with it. Like when you see that dude with the yarn in his hair from Parliament, that cat.
Yeah.
Huh? George Clinton.
This dude is George Clinton kind of way out there, and his rhythm is that way. And he's an amazing person to talk to. But in any event,
Is he from Chicago?
No, I think he's from Atlanta. Well, I know he spent a lot of time in Atlanta. I don't remember where he's from, but he's the reason that Ray opened up All Jokes. And I was on his podcast last night, and he was talking about they were trying to criticize young people for being who they are, right? And I'm like, well, every generation has a similar situation in each generation. So I don't understand all this judgment. And one of the guys is super Christian, right? So he got this whole super Christian, I believe he a Trump supporter kind of vibe. And the bro real smart, but I'm just like, damn, this shit you saying. So at one point I say something about never underestimate the power of this head start. And he was like, ain't nobody got no head start on me. This. And then and they were trying to say that these young people aren't talented. And I was like, no, I ain't gonna go with that one because I see shit all the time of people being talented. And so they come back with me. Well, I'll tell you what, I bet you when you was 11, you ain't had no pot belly with your dick out. I was like, oh no, I'm jacked off when I was 4. Oh, I enjoy my penis, and I ain't finna let you make me feel bad about it because I know what you motherfuckers do too. You dig what I'm saying? And so here's the thing: when I make an assessment of shit that I feel is harmful, a lot of the times it really ain't much.
I hate when people always try to make it touching your dick, anything sexual. I hate when they try to make it like shameful. Motherfucker, 7 billion people on the planet, people fucking.
It's so funny because, you know, they do, you know, they get so often caught doing the same type of shit. It's like they just don't want you to talk about the fact that you enjoy doing it or something. It's obviously there's a control issue there, right? They want to control. It's a way that they can disqualify you from something. It's a way they can create superiority over you over something. It's a way they can act like they're better than you over something, even if they're not following those rules themselves. I mean, you know, look at the rumors and the things and the stories and the people that have been found out who have used their power to act in direct opposite of who they are as people. Right, fighting against marriage equality when they're actually gay, like all that shit. Right, there's so much self-hate that goes on.
He's the televangelist son who was like having his wife was banging.
Oh yeah. Billy Graham, right? Wasn't it Graham?
Yeah. It was his kid. Is it Billy Graham Jr.?
I think so. Yeah.
Is it BGJ? BG Jr. was yeah. I mean, his wife was getting piped by another dude. Hey, I'm not against that. I'm very, very for that. I just don't like the guy in the room. I never believe he's happy. But I'm like, if you want to listen.
That's not my concern, though. That's not.
I know.
If you want to go be sad in the corner, that's on you, brother. I'm gonna go to work.
I'm just saying, 48 Hours has plenty of fucking coverage for a reason. Like them niggas ain't running out of murder mystery show on Netflix, Paramount Plus.
That ain't never the plot though. The plot, I've seen them 48 Hours. The plot is never we invited a friend over and he fucked his wife and then he got mad about it. That's never the plot.
Bobby, nobody ever tells that part. They gotta make it seem like it was an affair. Every one of those that says that was an affair, there was a few of those motherfuckers where that dude was invited over.
Let's end this talking about Little Black Excellence. First of all, in some sadder news, Vernon Jordan passed away. He was a tremendous civil rights activist. Worked in the Clinton administration, was involved in everything from the NAACP to the National Urban League. Lived a very, very long and productive life, which was a tough one. Also in some sports news, Joakim Noah retired. They've already stated they're going to let him come back and retire for the Bulls. I think I'm going to read this statement that he said at one point years ago, which I think kind of embodies who Joakim Noah was as a basketball player. He said, I feel when I come to the game and see the guy selling newspapers on the street and it's cold outside. He sees me driving and he's excited. He's like, let's go Bulls, get it done tonight. I feel I play for that guy. I look in the arena when the team calls a timeout and I see this guy who looks this big jumping up and down in the upper deck, 300 level. That's a guy I play for. To me, that's what this city represents. A lot of hardship, adversity. I feel like when I play basketball, I want to be part of their team. That's some amazing shit from a guy. And he's one of those big, high energy guys for the Bulls. And it's, you look around the league and those are guys who are oftentimes good for a while. And then, you're only 23 for so long. And then your body is like, listen, I know you got it in your heart, but 31 energy is not the same. You can't. But Joakim Noah was
the only dude that was able to sustain that for a really long period of time. Like,
it's just a different animal.
He was a freak.
Just a different animal.
That's why it's going to be interesting with these young guys who don't play in the post like that no more, who all these guys who shoot from outside, to see how long they can still play.
Yeah, you're going to see guys who I think can play a lot longer now because of that.
Can I throw one more RIP in there? Cross, brother from NFL Today, which was
wasn't he a New York Giant at one point?
He was a New York Giant and a Jet, New York Jet. And he was part of NFL Today. He went to Northwestern, so he has Chicago connections too.
Yep.
But that was the first live pregame show.
Yeah.
And he was part of that, and I remember that from very, very.
It's a black man on a pregame show. Of course, we remember that.
Yeah. Like,
he was a smooth talking brother too. He was
also that was when there was like 6 channels, maybe.
Right.
And watching football on Sunday morning was a huge damn thing. It was, I mean, as big as it is now. I mean, it was big. But anyway, so yeah, recipes are across.
Jay-Z has made a deal with Square, giving Square 50%, I think, of majority ownership of Tidal. And I think, you know, actually, and I talked about this the other day, there's a lot of people are going to miss what happened in this deal because in the last couple of weeks, Jay-Z has sold a high percentage of his alcohol business to the French company that owns every fucking high-priced French item out there, right? Ferrari, Moet and Chandon, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Versace, Prada, that company, like that's like the name of the company. The name of the company, just like every $3,000 purse you've ever seen, right? It's like. And every $2,000 liquor, $3,000 person, $500,000 car is all owned by like one company in France, basically. Jay-Z sold off his liquor biz to that, and then he gave majority ownership, got majority ownership to Square. And a lot of people are looking at this one, feeling like here's Jay-Z selling out to this white motherfucker. But what they don't recognize if they're not paying attention is that Jay-Z is now on the board of directors of Square. What he got out of this deal is he is on the board of, that's not really a position you get fired from. Like you are, that.
And he still has his 50%. He only has 50% of Tidal. He still has his 50 too.
Which, you know, if you recognize, you know, Tidal has been a fledgling company that is fledgling partially on because of the way its business model works. But it's been able to stay afloat because its business model is something that people recognize as good. It's very artist focused. Its intent is like making sure the artist gets paid properly. And so like part of that in this industry requires there to be some fledgling. What Square brings to the table is a way to really like support that business model.
They also, and I don't know how this works. I think Jay-Z might own 25% of Tidal now because I think Sprint owns 50% of Tidal already too. That was really what was, I think, making Tidal a player, was because you get it where you get basic Tidal with a Sprint subscription, with a Sprint purchase, and you can upgrade. Like I have the platinum because it's Tidal and it's dope, and I get a lot of cool shit with it. I like it. Anyway, I'm advertising Tidal. Fuck it, nigga. What's up? Anyway. Him being on the board at Square is a bank.
Yeah.
It's a financial institution. This is fucking.
It is one of the biggest mobile payment. It's one of the biggest mobile payment operators you're going to find out there. It's how a lot of comics I know sell their merch when they're at shows. Yep. It's how a lot of people I know sell merches at shows and at all types of expos. They are a huge company involved in stuff. And so obviously that means Tidal will survive longer, but also it elevates Jay-Z to, he's not just a guy who owns some little music thing he started. He's on the board of directors of a major financial institution now. This is a guy who's out of a fucking project in Brooklyn.
I gotta say, right now, I believe he's definitely the GOAT, greatest drug dealer of all time. Still selling crack to sitting on the board, nigga. This is literally a TV show that 50 Cent is gonna produce at some point.
They need to get the RZA to make a version of this like he did with the Wu Chronicles.
Power. Now that I think about it, wasn't he trying to get on the board or some shit other than his own shit?
Yeah, I think so. Coming to America, the sequel is out now. I haven't checked it out yet, but I am jacked to watch it. I'm considering watching the original and then going into this one. It's been funny watching some of the mixed reactions because all the white people that have reviewed it are like, "Deh," and all the black people are like, "It's good. Don't fucking."
That's interesting, man. I'm glad you put it out because I you know, again, a couple of the jail guards I used to work with, I've seen them post negative shit about it. And
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's obviously not 100%, right? Like, there's probably some people.
Just let me finish the thought. I was just thinking, like, yeah, this bitch always unhappy, so maybe this is right. Maybe this is the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this might be some hate. You know?
Yeah, and you know, there's also this part of it too, where it's like there is when they put out in Fortnite, they have things where sometimes it'll be like, oh, there's a soccer character, and then they have the soccer character in like 4 or 5 different races and looks, right? And it's like, I will always buy the black one because I want the account to show, right? When they totaling up how many are getting bought up, I want to make sure they see the black ones getting bought, right? So I am fucking around with it. I don't fuck around with it because when they look at the numbers and they go, well, what are they buying the most of? I want it to be in there, right? I want to make sure my shit counts. And so like there's part of it where it's like, you got to cape, right? Like you got to, so like, even if Coming to America is mediocre, you ain't going to hear that shit from me. I ain't shitting on Eddie, goddammit.
I can't disagree, man. I hate when motherfuckers want to and can't wait to do it too.
It has to be garbage. It has to be garbage, and I just be quiet, and somebody be like, "Hey, man, what do you think of that movie?" Like, I'm glad they got to do another one.
You know how bad it has to be? Like Trump would have to have a cameo. If Trump had a cameo where he wasn't an asshole, like he was like, yeah, it's me, President Donald Trump. I love Eddie Murphy.
I thought it was interesting when they were talking. They've been doing press for it. I thought it was interesting when they talked about the fact that they had to hire Louis Anderson because the producers were like, it was 1980 something. They're like, you just can't have an all black cast in a movie.
I hate that. Don't say it's 1987 something. Did you see a movie called Black Panther? You really think they needed that white dude with the fucking with that is exact same shit? Recognize that shit in Black Panther. The whole fucking point of that white FBI motherfucker or whatever, or CIA, whatever he was because you can't have a movie with just black people in it.
Yeah, you got
That's the whole point of it being there. They had white superheroes that they could have had in that motherfucker, and instead they put that. But like, I ain't mad. The shit worked. It was funny, but 100%. The same reason why Louis Anderson was in fucking Coming to America. It's the same reason why I can't remember the actor's name. He's a very funny, good actor, and I'm not angry at him because it's Hollywood. But that's the same reason why that motherfucker was in that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm not disagreeing with you
at all. I cannot argue. You know,
Martin Freeman. That's the guy's name who was in the.
Yeah,
Martin Freeman.
Very good actor, very funny, very.
Yeah, man. You know, I think, you know, again, you ain't gonna never. It's gonna always be somebody paying attention. See, again, when you got the head start, you know, y'all was just saying something I found really interesting, and I know that it ain't 100%, but you was like, they ain't got no spies in the other side of this shit. You know what I mean? And the people who are willing to storm the Capitol, you can't infiltrate them motherfuckers somehow. Like, they're not the brightest people in the world. Did you see the dude, man? I swear to God, this was crazy. This dude was standing, they had the packet that he bought the stun gun in, while he's standing at the door telling these motherfuckers, you can't find shit, I'm smart as hell. And he took a picture with his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk with the stun gun hanging out his hip. You are clearly not used to having to do some shit to somebody, or you so used to never having to get caught doing shit to somebody that you don't know how to hide the shit. Like, tell me what pimp you know. Let's just say just the one of the worst vocations that you can have is getting a woman to sell herself. Tell me one pimp you know that's standing in front of City Hall with his hoes like, hey, I know y'all fucking hoes. Which one of them?
Actually, if we go when we go on the road, if we go to Baltimore, I might be able to show you that.
Well, yeah, again, there's always one outstanding situation. Like, everybody ain't Michael Jordan. It's gonna be one motherfucker, Mike.
I swear to God. So look, I used to do door-to-door sales, right? I'm in Beatmore, and office built City Hall buildings like that. That shit is lucrative because there's always businesses we can sell to. Anyway, as we leave City Hall, I literally go a block up and I come across, there are several, 2 or 3, clearly they're strip clubs. And there are strip clubs that are open that are like trying to get motherfuckers. It's like noon. They're trying to get motherfuckers in. I can stand in front of
they're barking at the strip club?
I can see City Hall from a strip club. I'm with a friend who will remain nameless, who we go into the club because I said, fuck it, let's sell these motherfuckers some copy paper. I sell the strip club copy paper, swear to God. Sell the strip club copy paper and some other shit. I think I called it a bar. That might have been against the rules. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, I come out, I can't find my buddy. My buddy is missing. The girls come over and tell me, he went away.
He owed $400.
All the shit you just sold, you sold for free.
He comes back with a t-shirt on. He doesn't have his. We're wearing suit and tie. He comes back with nothing but t-shirt on in his pants. He said they're cleaning it for me. They have a dry cleaner here because she says that happens a lot. I don't hear anything more. And that was across the street from City Hall.
Baltimore, you're a lovely city. On that note, Rob, we gonna wrap this one up, man. What you got going on this week? Anything crazy? You at the crib? Where can people find you?
Oh yeah, we are so very close. I know I've been saying this, but we have to.
What you got? You got something coming out?
Hey, oh yeah, I got a new special out. It's called Lockdown.
Nice.
And we are very close to being finished with it. And we are starting to promote it. And in that vein, some people will be coming through our podcast based on that.
Nice. Where can people catch you online?
In my new series, it's called Lockdown.
Nice. It'll be coming out soon. XL, where can people find you?
Hey, you can catch me at XL Comedy, XLCOMEDY. That's on Instagram and all stuff. You can also probably see me if they're doing the video live. I don't know. Maybe James will say yes to this. I'll be at Laugh Factory Thursday night. And if you can come out, it's a safe place to be. Buy tickets early. They sell out quick. Chicago, Laugh Factory on Broadway. I don't know the website by.
You can find me at Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. If for some reason Laugh Factory is sold out and you're trying to catch XL, you should probably try and get tickets over at Zany's. I'll be there next Thursday. I'll probably do a virtual high five somewhere along the road. Man, those would be the nights back in the day where we'd get super hammered because we'd be at two different spots or at the same spot. We'd meet up and get drunk until 2 a.m. Miss those days. Not going to happen this week. Not going to happen. Find the show at New OGs Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Go ahead and find People of Comedy at People of Comedy and at People of Comedy Network. Find South by Southwest. Make sure you get on board for that and watch the show on March 18th to see People of Comedy's Zany show there. We'll catch you guys next week. That's it from us. That's what's up.
I'm going to go watch WandaVision.
Thank you, gang, but nigga, you a stranger. Bitches wanna fuck, but nigga, you can't blame us. You can't. Bitch, you better play